So I was talking to my friend the other day, and she was talking about how her daughter, who's almost 4, is starting to lose her innocence. She still has it, but she's not as innocent as she used to be when she was 2. And forget it when she talks about her nieces who are 10 and 12 years old, who are much, much less innocent than before. It's to the point where they almost seem like these little pre-adults that she can talk to and actually have real conversations with, whereas her daughter seems to be on the other side. Her daughter's still in that like innocent haze where she doesn't really understand how the world works. And she was just remarking how sad this is, that people lose their innocence and children lose their innocence. And this is just a part of life, you know? And I was telling her, I mean, it's natural. I don't understand why you necessarily have to be sad about it. I mean, that's understandable. Whenever things end, we get sad. I mean, it's almost like the poignancy of when, I wanted to say when a baby takes his first step, but you know what's more pertinent to me? There's a lamb here. It was a newborn lamb. And when I heard it baw for the first time, it was so amazing and so cute. And it had such a different vocal quality than its older brother or its mother. And of course, I was also like, I thought it was just so precious. And then I also felt like it was a little bit sad, right? Because it was like the only time it would be its first vocalization. And after that, it would just get older and older and older and kind of like, his older brother is not that cute. I want the cuteness to last. So that poignancy is just a part of life. And that is why a lot of Buddhists talk about being in the moment, being in the now. When you have that wistful quality of like, oh, I want this to last forever, kind of thing, that's ego. Is there anything wrong with ego? I mean, not really. It's just that ego causes suffering. So she was talking about how her daughter is starting to lose her innocence. I mean, still has it, but is starting to lose it, and how that's sad. And I was just saying, well, that's a natural part of life. And then I started talking about evil. What does losing innocence mean? And how I would put it is you start to know evil, like know evil. And this is really important. Parents must know evil in order to protect their children. So parents know what might happen if child gets into trouble with physical reality issues like fire and falling off of high things. Children kind of live in this magical reality that's closer to source, right? Where there's fewer boundaries and like pretty much anything can happen. They're kind of in a dream state. I think we know this. So parents know what happens in this world, including if, God forbid, someone kidnaps your child, something bad's going to happen. Or child cannot know. It cannot know. Just like a dog has no conception of, what football rules are. It just can't know. So it's your job to know what evil is. And the better you know evil, the better you can protect your child. If you're also innocent, you're like, oh, why don't you just go with that stranger? You're not being a very good parent. So knowing evil is a marker of passing from childhood into adulthood. And the better you know evil, the better an adult you can be for a child, to protect a child. And also you have to know evil in order to protect yourself. She was saying, oh, I guess that's not so bad. Like you want your daughter to be able to protect herself when she's an adult, right? I mean, I'll push it a little bit further. I mean, teenagers on purpose experiment with evil. They experiment with things like drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, driving too fast, engaging in sexual acts that their psychology is really not ready for, breaking the rules, etc. All of these things are so-called evil. They cause you to lose your innocence and or shorten your life or harm your life. And teenagers want to experiment with evil because they want to figure out what their boundaries are, because everyone has some kind of relationship with evil. If you're an adult, you have some kind of relationship with evil, and a lot of it has to do with your ego and how much you want to push into your shadow. So if you go, I'm good and evil is out there, you're going to push everything into your shadow. So you're going to be unaware of the evil that you do. This is sort of like a different topic. So I was saying, there's a lot of people who are severely developmentally disabled and they retain their innocence even when they're 60 years old and their 80-year-old parents need to take care of them, or their 62-year-old brother needs to take care of them in perpetuity. Is this cute? And she was saying, no, I really hope that my daughter isn't like that. Like, losing your innocence is a natural part of life. It means that you're starting to understand what evil is. And yes, you do have to come to terms with the fact that there's evil in this world. And the aspect of like, why does it have to be like this? That is ego, because evil helps define you. Evil helps define you. So if you had a tennis game, for example, and someone kept cheating, how do you know that they're cheating and they're not just playing by the rules? Because you're like, oh, you violated the rules. There was a rule and you violated the rule. So you know that that person is cheating. What if you play tennis and somehow no one ever violates the rules? You know, is the rule as clear as when someone violates it, or when many people try to violate it? Then the rule becomes really precious, right? This is what sometimes makes things sacred. The ability of others to break a rule and how easy it is to do that can help make something sacred. So now I've touched a little bit on lots of little baby things all around the place, but I wanted to talk about this idea that sometimes losing your innocence is a good thing, because it's the part of the natural order of things. It means that you're growing up and eventually you're going to become an adult who can protect yourself and maybe protect your own children if you have them. Is it sad? Maybe, if you want to be in your ego. All right, talk to you later. Bye.